Today, we are looking at something that honestly kind of blew my mind.
Oh, yeah. It's a game changer.
It really is. Imagine you take this grueling, like 5-hour freelance project, right?
Yeah.
And you just hand the heavy lifting over to an AI model, and you deliver a flawless result in 30 minutes.
Which is just, I mean, it's a 90% reduction in the time you actually have to spend working.
Exactly. So
Okay.
today we are tearing into the 2026 AI income roadmap from beginner to earner. And our mission for this deep dive is to extract the actual actionable mechanics behind that kind of crazy time-saving leverage.
Yeah, we want to look at how everyday people, and I mean absolute beginners, are building digital incomes completely from scratch.
And then the stakes here are fascinating because, the traditional velvet ropes are just gone. There's no computer science degree required, no office lease to sign, and literally no startup capital to borrow.
Right, the barrier to entry has essentially been reduced to what? A smartphone, a stable internet connection?
Yeah. And just a willingness to understand AI, which, okay, let's unpack this. The foundational premise we are working with here is incredibly pragmatic. Online earning is not magic.
No, not at all.
It is simply the act of solving a specific problem for a person or a business in exchange for money. You identify a friction point, you smooth it out, and you capture a portion of that value.
Right. It represents a total structural shift in how individual earning power is generated. But before jumping straight to the science fiction assumption of robots doing all our work while we relax on a
Which
beach.
sounds nice, but yeah.
Right. But we have to ground this in basic economics. The AI itself is not logging onto the internet and depositing funds into a bank account. It is strictly an accelerator.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Because the difference now is that AI acts as this massive multiplier on your ability to smooth out those friction points. Like we said, if you can solve a problem in 30 minutes that previously took half a day, you radically alter your output ceiling.
And you do it without sacrificing any more of your actual lifespan to the work, which fundamentally changes the calculus for anyone trying to build an independent income.
For sure.
If you can compress the time it takes to produce professional grade work, the most logical place to point that newfound efficiency is at the internet's most insatiable problem, which is, the demand for content.
Yeah, a content beast never sleeps.
Exactly. The major platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, they are basically algorithms that run entirely on fresh attention, and attention requires a relentless daily volume of material.
Which brings us to the first path laid out in the roadmap, which is Route 1, the faceless content creator. Because the obvious bottleneck for a lot of people looking at the creator economy is that they have zero desire to be on camera.
Right, they don't want to be public figures, they just want to make things.
Yeah, so the workaround is building a fully AI-driven production studio where you are the director, not the talent. But instead of just saying use AI, let's actually look at how these tools stack together.
Because it's a whole workflow now.
It really is. You aren't just opening ChatGPT and asking it to write a video.
Yeah.
You are feeding in a specific audience persona, tone constraints, pacing structures, all so it generates a script that actually holds human retention.
And then you move that text into an AI voice generator.
Yeah.
And we aren't talking about the robotic, monotone text-to-speech from 5 years ago.
Oh man, those were awful.
Right. But modern voice models allow you to adjust breath pacing, emphasize specific syllables, and even mimic regional cadences.
It's wild. And from there, you are prompting image generation models to create the visual assets. Then you just drop everything into an AI-assisted video editor, like CapCut.
Which can automatically sync the audio to the visuals and generate dynamic captions. I mean, you are orchestrating a complete digital supply chain.
But I have to push back here, because if this tool chain is so accessible and everyone can suddenly generate 100 videos from their phone, aren't we just flooding the internet with generic garbage?
Like, how does anyone actually stand out in a sea of synthetic content? What does this mean for the actual money? Because the text talks about YouTube monetization, affiliate marketing, sponsorships. But how do you get there?
Yeah, that is the exact trap most beginners fall into. Because it's easy to make something, they assume the output itself is valuable. What's fascinating here is the psychological framing the roadmap suggests to combat this.
Okay.
It argues your initial goal shouldn't be to build an audience or generate revenue at all.
Wait, really? No revenue goal?
None. Your only goal should be to publish 100 videos.
It's counterintuitive for an income roadmap to tell you to completely ignore the money. But looking at the attrition rates on these platforms, it actually makes a lot of sense.
It does. The vast majority of people quit after 10 uploads. They hit a wall of 0 views, get totally discouraged, and abandon the project.
Yeah, it's brutal out there.
So setting a goal of 100 videos forces you to detach from the immediate outcome of going viral. It shifts your focus entirely to mastering the nuances of the AI tools. Oh, I see. So by video 50, you aren't just taking ChatGPT's first draft. You're pushing the model to find unique angles.
Exactly. You are refining your visual prompts. You are developing a distinct editorial voice through the AI. It's a volume-based approach to mastery that naturally filters out the people just looking for a quick buck.
So once you do cross that threshold of quality, what does this mean for the monetization streams we mentioned?
Well, the roadmap points to how AI supercharges the standard creator streams. Take affiliate marketing. Instead of just throwing a link in a description and hoping for the best, you can use AI to rapidly A/B test 50 different call to action scripts.
Just to see which one actually converts viewers into buyers.
Right. Or with sponsorships, you can use large language models to instantly parse complex brand contracts. You can have them draft professional negotiation emails, which allows a solo creator to handle business development like a seasoned agency.
So you are using the leverage to handle the administrative drag, leaving you free to focus on the creative direction.
Precisely. But building your own audience from scratch is still slow burn. It requires immense patience.
Which leads directly to the second path, Route 2, AI freelancing. Because if building your own media property takes too long, the immediate alternative is renting out that exact same AI-powered production engine to someone who already has an audience, or at least, a marketing budget.
Because businesses have that same insatiable need to feed the algorithms, but they have capital instead of time.
Right. And they are actively looking to deploy that capital on platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, Freelancer, and LinkedIn. We're talking about rapidly growing services here, generating blogs, crafting social media posts, writing product descriptions.
And AI transforms how you deliver this. Generating a blog post isn't just asking for 500 words anymore.
No, not at all.
It's feeding the AI the top-ranking Google articles for a specific keyword, instructing it to identify the semantic gaps, and then writing a comprehensive piece that directly targets those missing search queries.
You are delivering a highly strategic asset in a fraction of the time it used to take a human copywriter.
Yes.
But there is a massive reality check here regarding the freelance marketplace. Setting up a profile on Fiverr and knowing how to prompt an AI model is not a business.
No, it's not. If we connect this to the bigger picture, building a profile on these sites is just step one.
I think of it like owning a multi-million-dollar supercar, but having absolutely no gas in the tank. The AI is incredibly powerful. It can do the heavy lifting of the actual writing or generating, but distribution and networking the hustle is the fuel.
That's a great analogy. The failure point for most freelancers isn't a lack of technical skill, it's a lack of proactive outbound marketing.
You can't just open a store in the middle of a desert and be shocked when there are no customers. You have to build the roads yourself.
Exactly. The roadmap demands daily applications. You cannot sit behind a computer screen and wait for clients to magically discover your profile. The biggest mistake beginners make is waiting around.
The AI does the work, but the human has to do the hustling.
The AI will not knock on digital doors for you. You have to send the cold emails, pitch the local businesses, and actively demonstrate the value you can bring to their specific operations.
So you essentially have to use the time you saved on the production side to relentlessly power the sales side.
Right.
But even if you optimize your pitches and land a dozen clients, you eventually hit a fundamental bottleneck. You are still trading your time for money.
Which is the classic freelance trap.
Yeah. If a client needs a project, you still have to sit down and prompt the AI to make it. There is a ceiling to how many hours you can work in a day.
Which is why the digital economy's most powerful economic model relies on breaking that time for money correlation entirely. It requires shifting from a service model to an asset model.
Meaning?
Create once, sell infinitely. This is where true leverage exists.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. Route 3, the leverage of digital products. Because when you write a freelance article, you get paid once. But a digital product operates on the economics of zero marginal cost.
Exactly.
Like, if you produce a physical planner, every new copy requires paper, ink, binding, warehouse space, shipping logistics. But if you build a digital planner, the 10,000th copy cost the exact same amount to produce and deliver as the very first copy. Nothing.
The leverage is absolute. And what's unique about this moment is how AI expands the types of digital products a single person can realistically create.
Yeah, the text rattled off some great examples. Ebooks, templates, Canva designs, prop packs, Notion templates, study materials, and business guides.
Yeah, we aren't just talking about writing a standard ebook anymore. The roadmap highlights a massive secondary market for specialized utility. Take prompt packs, for instance.
Right, because most people interacting with ChatGPT just stare at the blank cursor and type something generic.
And they get a generic result.
Exactly. So a prompt pack is a highly structured, battle-tested framework. It's a series of inputs where someone can just plug in their specific variables like their target audience or product features and get a reliable, professional result every single time.
You aren't selling text. You are selling reliability and time savings to other professionals.
Or consider study materials and business guides. This is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, the synthesis tools.
Right. A few years ago, synthesizing complex information into a digestible format took weeks of manual research. Now, you can leverage a tool like Notebook LM, upload 50 dense research papers or corporate manuals, and the AI will cross-reference the data, identify the core themes, and help you structure a highly valuable distilled guide.
And then you just package that synthesized knowledge into a PDF or a Notion workspace. You set up a landing page on a platform like Gumroad or Payhip, connect a payment processor, and the software handles the fulfillment automatically while you sleep.
And this is where I want to speak directly to you, the listener, the learner. If you are the kind of person who naturally enjoys organizing information, summarizing complex topics, or figuring out the fastest way to use a new software, you are already wired for this model.
It's true. Curiosity is a huge asset here.
You are perfectly suited to become a vendor of solutions. Your natural curiosity is the raw material, and the AI is the manufacturing plant that turns it into a scalable product.
But, understanding the theoretical economics of digital products or freelance arbitrage doesn't actually get anything built.
Yeah, ideas are cheap.
Exactly. Execution requires a structured timeline. Otherwise, people just drown in tutorials and never actually launch anything.
Which brings us to segment 4, the 90-day execution blueprint. Because knowing the destinations is useless without a map.
Right.
This blueprint isolates the transition from absolute beginner to actively participating in the market into 3 distinct 30-day phases. Phase 1, days 1 through 30, is entirely dedicated to tool mastery.
Yes.
The roadmap says you aren't allowed to think about LLCs, logos, or monetization yet. You are just learning the basics of specific tools.
You're learning the vocabulary of these new models, and it requires interacting with different types of AI architectures to understand their distinct advantages.
Like using ChatGPT for text generation.
Right, rapid text generation and iterative brainstorming. But then you pivot to a tool like Gemini, which might handle certain reasoning tasks or real-time web search a bit differently.
And then there's Canva, CapCut, Notebook LM.
Exactly. You spend time in Canva learning how AI can instantly remove backgrounds or expand image borders. You experiment with CapCut's automated editing features. You are building an intuitive sense of what the machines are actually capable of.
So you spend a whole month just playing and learning. And once you have that baseline fluency, phase 2 kicks in, days 31 through 60. This is all about the power of singular focus.
This is a crucial phase.
Yeah, the menu of available skills to learn is massive. We've got content writing, video editing, thumbnail design, AI automation, social media management, but the roadmap is ruthlessly strict here. You have to pick one, only one.
This raises an important question regarding market dynamics. When everything is possible, why artificially limit yourself?
Why not learn it all?
Because the marketplace absolutely does not reward generalists. It actively seeks out specialists. Do not try to learn everything.
It makes sense. If you try to be good at 5 things, you're just mediocre.
Right. If a successful YouTube creator is looking to hire a thumbnail designer, they do not care that you also know how to write SEO blogs or edit audio.
They just want a good thumbnail.
Exactly. They want someone who is obsessively studying human psychology, color theory, and AI image generation to produce the highest possible click-through rate. If you spend your second month dabbling in 5 different skills, you will be mediocre at all of them, and the market ignores mediocrity.
Mastery in one specific vertical cuts through the noise of the marketplace much better than being a jack of all trades.
You pick your lane and you go incredibly deep.
Which prepares you for phase 3, days 61 through 90. The friction point. This is where the training wheels come off and you actually have to face the market.
We're real world.
Yeah. You spend this final month building out a portfolio of sample projects to prove your competence, optimizing your profiles on freelancing platforms, and actively pitching clients on LinkedIn.
And statistically speaking, this is the exact 30-day window where the vast majority of people will abandon the entire roadmap.
Wow. Really? Why is that? Because it stops being fun.
Precisely. Learning how to prompt an AI model in the safety of your own living room feels highly productive,
Yeah.
and it carries zero risk of rejection.
Oh, right. Nobody is telling you no when you're just messing around with ChatGPT.
Exactly. But sending out 30 cold emails and getting 29 silences and one no is incredibly uncomfortable. This psychological friction of putting a price tag on your work and asking a stranger to pay it is immense.
So people retreat.
Yeah, they convince themselves they just need to take one more course or learn one more software update before they are ready. But the roadmap is adamant here. The friction point is the exact threshold where the actual earning begins.
If you do not push through the rejection phase, the previous 60 days of tool mastery are economically worthless. It's a brutal reality check, but a necessary one. And it perfectly mirrors how the 2026 roadmap concludes its entire thesis. Because look, after laying out the profound leverage of AI, the infinite scale of digital products, and the global reach of the freelance market, it immediately pulls you back to earth.
It really grounds the reader.
It does. It states explicitly that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you approach this with a lottery ticket mentality, looking for overnight wealth, you will be disappointed. The market will crush you.
That takes time.
It takes 6 to 12 months of dedicated learning and consistent, unglamorous daily execution to actually bend the trajectory of your financial life.
The timeline is the great filter. The 90-day blueprint just builds the foundation. The following 3 to 9 months of relentless application is what builds the income. And there is a specific quote in the text that synthesizes everything we've discussed today perfectly. AI won't take your place, but a person using AI will.
I love that quote. It shifts the entire conversation from defensive anxiety to offensive capability. The most valuable currency in the digital world isn't the neural network sitting on a server farm. It is your skill. It is the human judgment required to wield that network effectively.
Right. The tools are globally accessible, which means the competitive advantage belongs entirely to the individual who puts in the reps to direct them better than the next person.
And the source's final vital message is so liberating. Your initial start doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to happen. It just needs to exist in the real world.
You iterate in public, you let the market tell you what works, and you adjust the AI parameters accordingly.
You start solving problems. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought for you, the listener, to mull over on your own after this deep dive ends. We've established that AI is fundamentally democratizing the ability to create. The friction of turning a thought into a polished blog post, a software script, or a video has dropped to near zero.
Almost zero, yeah.
But if everyone eventually learns how to be an AI director, and the cost of generating a perfect digital asset plummets to absolute zero, what happens to the intrinsic value of human struggle?
That's a deep question.
Right. In a future where flawless, instantaneous AI output is the default standard, will we eventually pay a premium for things that take 5 hours instead of 30 minutes? Simply because we know a human being wrestled with the imperfection of creating it.
It makes you wonder.
It really does. So for now, the future of making a living isn't about being the fastest typist or the hardest worker. It's about being the best director of digital tools. What is one specific problem you already know how to solve in your daily life that an AI tool could help you solve 10 times faster starting today? Find that problem.
Yep.
Be the director. But keep the future value of your own human imperfection in the back of your mind.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.